G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Instigating pipe wrench with 40% faster swing speed as a secondary legendary effect. So, a pretty good set of legendary effects, but the weapon doesn't seem all that great with 58 damage just sitting here with unperked. That's with all of the strength that I have too, so there's a lot to be desired in terms of the damage thing, but I'm thinking we'll go alright anyway, simply because we've got ourselves in a melee stealth loadout so we can get that damage multiplier up to 6 times, so 58 times 6 is still only around 350-ish, I think, so we're going to have to get a little bit more than that going to one-shot a Super Mutant Warlord, which is kind of where I want to be. So if we chuck on all of our Gladiator perks, it is a one-handed melee weapon, so Gladiator will work. We've also got 1 Rank and Incisor and 3 in Martial Artist. Ideally, I'd have what's it called, Bandolier pulled entirely, but since I'm carrying a lot of ammo and don't want to, waste it just by dropping it in this server never to be bloody seen again, I'm holding on to it. We'll sacrifice a little bit of damage output for the greater good of my ammo count. 106, times that by 6 with 636 damage, so we're getting closer. That isn't accounting for power attack, so if we can power attack a super mutant with this while sneaking, we could probably kill them. So that's alright. Can't really tell you much about the attachments of this weapon. There is puncturing, gives you armor piercing and better damage, but this one has a chance to cripple and extra limb damage, so if we hit him in the kneecaps with it, it'll make him drop perhaps. Now, there might actually be reason to use this one instead, because that's a railway spike there, by the way. That's nice. But yeah, I'm thinking there might actually be a reason to use this because, well, you can punch through a little bit more armor, but I'm not really sure. I might have to come back to this if we find our super mutant killing lacking, but we're only losing 3 damage, so that might be worth thinking about. Okay, so here we are inside the place, going to be starting from the inside today. Here are my buffs and my bits of armor. Let's get started. Now there's someone outside, so I want to clear everything out before he even gets in. So let's see if my theory about power attacking super mutants is correct. It is indeed correct. We are one-shotting super mutants in here, and provided we can get our adrenaline high enough, it is not right now, as evidenced by that little bit of damage, we can probably one-shot these guys without use of power attacks, and yikes. So this is where the swing speed comes in handy, because if we're not doing the power attacks and one-shotting these guys with sneak crits, well, we're kind of boned. So keeping and sneaking, keeping stealth going is absolutely paramount, and that's really annoying, game. Please stop doing that. And yeah, that's basically the name of the game. And it's been another day of recording Fallout 4 content, so be on the lookout for that in the coming days. Tuesday, Thursday, and also Saturday, so every 2 days I'll be posting a Fallout 4 video on the side, and it's got me used to, pulling spawns from wherever, and here we go, we're back into the zone of not being able to do a lot, hitting a brick wall of people who can block me. I've also got bone worms too, so my limbs are going to be shattering like you wouldn't believe. Now, what I should have done is probably chucked on something like, what's it called? Hang on, if I go back into caution, we'll be right. No. Born Survivor would be very useful here, but I'm ballsy, I don't need that. I actually do need it. I need that immensely. In fact, I'm just going to jam a stim pack in me now, and you pretend that I put Born Survivor on, because, yeah, I didn't really expect this thing to go well without stealth, and stealth is going to carry this weapon. At least we've got the weapon out of his hands right now. Unfortunately, we got staggered again, because we've got fucking bone worms, but the odds are really stacked against us, I'll tell you that much, and we get a 3-star weapon. Excellent, that's 40 script for one of my other characters. Or maybe I could use it, who even knows. But I've got no clue where that other super mutant went. I don't think I killed him. But anyways, regardless of that, we're also out of adrenaline too, so we won't be taking that into the next fight. But we are, however, at basically nerd rage unyielding, so we're going to be getting a whole lot out of this weapon perhaps. I think this weapon is only viable in terms of stuff that you can easily one-shot regardless of how stealthy you are. So stuff like Ghouls should be very, very easy. If I was to get myself full of radiation so I can boost my strength even further, well, we might be laughing. So the next clip, I might just dose myself up on radiation and see how we go against a bunch of ghouls, because I mean, it hasn't failed the super mutant test, but it's clearly struggling. And speaking of super mutants, where the bloody hell are they? There you are. Right, this will probably garner a response out of some super mutants. Unfortunately, if they're in caution, they don't show up, only when they're like full aggroed, which is annoying, because I'd like to be able to seek my targets out a little bit more methodically than just guesswork. But regardless of that, we are through that area of super mutants, except for this guy, which we can't whack through there, so you know what, that makes sense. Although I wouldn't put it past Bethesda to make it like that. Now I just need to get up without jumping in the pool. Just kidding, I'm gonna get some rad damage strength. There we go, we one-shotted that guy. We had a sneak attack crit going though. Alright, so this is the make or break room. I might actually take some medics here so I don't get fucking wrecked if I have any. Which is morphine. Australians didn't like how they were going to call it morphine, so that's why it's got the name medics. And also, I think Germany has a pretty big sensor problem. Or rather, we could just go full attack mode with Fury. We can simulate Twisted Muscles, because I never use it. And nobody complained about me not using Twisted Muscles for the Bone Club, the War Drum. But yeah, that's something that I didn't really bring up either. I think regardless of whether I had that extra, 25% damage that I would have gotten, okay, we can one-shot them now without sneaking. That's good. That's what we wanted. So it looks like we can make this thing be somewhat useful, provided we're almost dead. The question is, why would you want to use this when there's much better options available, like a bloodied swing speed knife, which is going to do about the same amount of damage and is going to attack faster. I'm being shredded by an assault rifle, so fuck that. I'm going back under here. The trick is not to bite off more than you can chew with this, which means it's going to slow our game down to a screeching halt, which is annoying because there's nothing I hate worse than being handicapped by your own weapon, but here we are. I'm glad we could knock that guy a new one before he could get that board club sling in. Hey, there's more unyielding gear right there. And +1 strength too. That actually might be a worthy replacement. I don't know what's on my right leg right now. No, do not get crippled, for fuck's sake. Okay, just do a stim pack. There's no way we could possibly do this without getting ourselves shredded, unless we want to fucking be in here for the next 15 minutes. So we'll just jam a stim pack in our veins, go fucking grognak mode, and see what becomes of it. I love being staggered. It's just such an annoying game mechanic. Having your entire controls lock up on you, leaving you super vulnerable, is never a good feeling. And no games do it right. Ah yes, of course, it's Mad Max and his doggo. He had 2 assault rifles, one of which had 20 bullets, so yay, cool. I don't use 5.56s on this, but yeah, okay. That was a struggle, but we managed to get through it without dying, funnily enough, so let's keep going. Okay, let's kick off with some ghouls and apparently a Scorch Beast. Are you kidding me? Well, I wasn't expecting to use shotguns this... Wait, are you gonna land? Please land. Actually, you just hold there for a second. I need to swap out a few perks here and there. Now, this will probably aggro all of the ghouls, so lucky me. In fact, he might... Okay, he's picking fights with other things. Let's just go back to the pipe wrench, shall we? Yep, one-shotted him. One-shotted him. And we're only getting the 2 times damage multiplier for the sneaking instead of 3. But that doesn't really matter because we can hit so goddamn fast. Also, there's so many around here. So this is not ideal circumstances. And despite that, this lowly pipe wrench is getting us out of a situation where something like a war drum, we would have been dead like 5 minutes ago. The Scorch Beast would have looked at us and we would have died. But this is working. For some reason, I am managing to fight better with a tiny little pipe wrench than a giant massive club with like a blunt surface object, and also it's really sneaky and stealthy too, so that definitely helps. And I can just go full Rambo style in here and absolutely slaughter everything in one shot because it's instigating, because I'm basically ratted out. I'm not pulling any punches. I am going sicko mode on these ghoulies here with this thing, and just like that, we're done. Now, where is that fucking Scorch Beast? He's on the ground right now, so I'm gonna go whack him. Oh, look at those goo piles. I still put a lot of spawns out of this place despite all the goo piles. Oh. Yeah, of course the Scorch Beast is gonna defeat a Grafton monster. Let me just whack you a little bit, I think. Now, unfortunately, I'm not getting the sneak crits because, well, he's aggroed right now. There's a monster right there. We get dabbed on, but doesn't really matter. That's going to kill him. And something else is still angry at me. It's these ghouls who I must have forgotten about. Okay, well, this ghoul section was a little bit more exciting than I would have expected it to be. We're still in danger, however. I think it was the ghouls from up in that direction, actually, that managed to rock up here. But still in danger. You know what? I think the danger is something else that's far away, because I can't see anything. And we're probably back into caution anyway, but yeah. A little bit more interesting than most ghoul encounters, I'm sure. Well, they have it. Also, I haven't changed the shadows yet. Whoops. Well, obviously, I'm not doing myself any favors with bone worms, but I breezed by a rat and I just picked it up, so I really had no choice in the matter. I can't be fucked going out and getting a disease cure, otherwise I'll be up and playing this for longer than I ought to be. So right now I'm fine with bone worms. It just gives me more of an incentive to use stealth. Speaking of things that I'm not fine with, there's more dudes around here. Now this one's not disease, which is good, which means we can be a little bit more risky. I saw that 3k damage shrug off. That's another thing about Fallout 4. Your attacks always hit no matter what. There's no netcode bullshit that would, stop you from actually doing a thing. I'm thinking it's got something to do with tick rate, surely. Anyways, big scary monster with full nerd rage mode. Let's see how we do, eh? And I'd get the blight, but I've got bone worms, and bone worms don't play nicely with the blight. Nice. So, despite being a low-ass damage weapon, I'm still managing to kill my Lurk Queens faster than I could ever kill it with a war drum. So, yeah, there's that. And I'd still take this weapon over a war drum any day of the week, that's for sure. Okay, it's time to take on some bats. And with bone worms, too, because I just want my limbs to be shattered by their explosive breath. And it's going to happen, and I'm just going to jam a stim pack into my veins when it happens, because fuck it. I don't care, I've got plenty. They're not too hard to come by. So, I haven't actually remembered to peak that adrenaline damage with this either. So, if we run into a bunch of gun zombies after killing this Scorch Beast, well, we'll see what that's all about. Unfortunately, he's gone all the way over there, kind of leaving us... Hang on, he's coming back. He's figuring out where to land. Well, that's a little bit too far away, so what I might do is, firstly, sit here, bask in Adam's glow, and make sure I've actually got that hotkeyed, then get spotted, because I'm a moron. I was not ready for that Scorch Beast to come out, but I will whack him anyway. Take this, and this, and this. This fucking Protectron has ruined everything. Go away. Okay, sneak attack crits are mine now. Yes. No, we're in danger. Okay, this is not going well at all. These fucking robots have ruined everything. And this goes to show you how much you rely on stealth to actually make this thing work. So, I'll get you down on the ground for the first time, or rather again, and we're immediately in danger too. Which is a worry. But apparently the Scorch Beast... Hang on, one's on the ground now. Now's the time to attack. Come here. Back in the caution, good stuff. We just gotta whack him several times over. Just ignore those rads, they're fine. There we go, one's taken out. Good stuff. They're dropping the crop duster attack. They think they know where I am, but okay. This radiation's a little bit too much. I'm just gonna take one of those things that reduces the rads and hit you, and also hit you. Okay, that should be... Fucking hell. They're pushing me out of stealth. This is going to be an uphill fight for sure. Also, let's peak that damage. 397. That's fuck all, really. Hey, that wasn't landing. That sucked. Now, this is the worst spawn to pull because, well, there's how many bats are around? There was 3 bats against 1 fucking pipe wrench. Now, I'm not gonna claim that I'm exceptionally good at this game, but those odds are stacking against you, very much so. And also, that's a free stim pack, so I can jam another one in. Come on, escape artist. Yes. So, it's a bit rough. Just keep hitting him. Don't stop. Don't stop. Teleport around with him. Now, if he was smart, he could have just walked over to the fissure hole and thrown me in that, because I had no idea where I was going with this. But unfortunately he didn't. We've just managed to cripple ourselves. There we go again. I'm surprised we didn't die. Serendipity save our asses there. Like, if I was in a situation where I was attacking Scorch Beasts like this, the last fucking weapon I'd want to use is a pipe wrench, but you know, with a little bit of stealthy goodness, you can make it work. Don't you do that crop duster attack, you bastard. What are your wings like? Okay, all of your wings are fucked, so you can drop now. Also, can I pinch your... No. He's not going to give me free glue. Alright, it's on you to drop, mate. There we go. Quickly kill him before the rads kill us. There we go. Apparently his radiation gland was in his balls, because as soon as we started hitting him there, he stopped taking damage. So there's that. And 1200 with the 2 times. Damage only at 20%, but still 326. Well, we made it through it with only 1 death to our name, so I guess that's as good as I'm gonna get. Okay, let's wind things down by killing Swan. This should be a breeze. So, thoughts on this weapon? It's basically stealth or die. If you can't sneak, if you can't hide from your enemies, if you can't get the damage multipliers, you are well and truly fucked. That being said, this thing is still more of an effective weapon than the war drum, the instigating swing speed war drum that I did. I'd rather have this than the war drum, if that's any consolation. So it's not a terrible weapon, but at the same time I wasn't expecting it to be any good, because it's a pipe wrench. It's supposed to be a joke melee weapon that you'd get at level 1 and then never ever use again because you realize that it's bad. But somehow I've made it work with a lot of health lost. But yeah, I like other things like Revenant and pushing it further with that would just, like, there's always better options. So, you know, for a novelty weapon like it is, it's crap, and it's sort of like that for a reason. Not all weapons are supposed to be made equally. I'm looking at you, pipe wrench. No, not pipe wrench, pipe revolver and pipe bolt action, and also meat hook. Not all weapons are created equally, or, well, obviously they aren't, because Bethesda have made it that way, but you know what I mean. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, talk to Lyvvie. I don't think you'd like to see this in your game, actually. Thank you very much for watching, guys.